Hi, everybody. Hope everybody had a good weekend. All right. So I don't usually record this late, but I had some ideas, so I'm getting on with them. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the topic of body language and kind of how to tell if someone's lying to you. But I have to. I have to tell you before we start that if you're going to do this, you're looking for a cluster of behaviors or language or indicators and not just one. Okay? All right. And I'm going to use two cases to it, illustrate what I'm talking about. Okay. So the first sign is when someone's telling you the truth, they don't have a problem with eye contact. Like, okay, I'll use myself as an example right quick. All right, so if I'm telling you the truth, I'll look at you straight on, like I'm doing to the camera. But if somebody's lying to you, then they may look to the other side, or they may use language to skip the question or divert your attention, something like that. Okay. Um, when they're lying, they can get defensive. Okay. Um, say you're trying to find out if your partner is cheating. Say that you're a woman and you have that intuition that you think they're cheating, but you don't have confirmation yet, and maybe you want to get it. Okay. One easy way to do this is to ask him a question that should be innocuous and see what he says. Like, okay, if you know your partner is supposed to be somewhere on Tuesday night, I'm just picking a day here, okay? Say he's supposed to be at some class Tuesday night and he's not there. And but you don't know that. So an innocuous question is, how did it go tonight? Or how was your night? You know? And if he's, oh, why do you want to know? Why do you care so much? That's defensive. Um, and then, of course, you ask other questions, and you don't have to lead with, where were you? I'm just saying you can ask other questions to confirm he was somewhere else. But that defensiveness is another sign he may be lying to you. Okay. So the cases I'm going to use are Chris Watts and Russell uh, Colwell. Yeah. Um, okay. One is the convicted unaliver of his wife and um, family, essentially. This was major headlines about, I was going to say 6 years, but now, well, 6 and some months, 6 years and some months ago. Now, this happened in Colorado, and the nuts and bolts of it are they're a couple, they're married for a long time, but they had two small children and a baby on the way. Well, he found another woman and didn't want to tell his wife, but the reason I'm using him is because he got really deceptive before the crime. And I can say crime because, like I said, he was convicted, so I'm not tucking out. I'm not telling you something that you can't find out. Okay. But I didn't think about this angle until today, or maybe a little bit a while ago, but I didn't really hone in on it. Okay. this is also directed to women because I'm not sure if men are the same way, but I know women are. Okay, if you have a female best friend, you probably tell that female best friend everything going on in your life with no filter. So, if you're in a relationship and it's not going so good, you'll tell her it's not going so good and you'll tell her the truth and what you think and everything, right? So, there was this woman who was her best friend and she knew everything because they had been friends for 14 years before. So, they had already built up the friendship and the trust and everything else. And she said that when she was there for 2 months, the year before anything happened, they weren't as lovey dovey as before. And then when the friend went back home and Shannon wasn't by herself, uh, she just recognized that her husband wasn't being her husband anymore. And it was because he had already found the other woman. So, yeah, if you're in a relationship and your partner isn't as affectionate or whatever as before, that may be another sign of infidelity, lying, something. Okay. Okay. And for the other guy I mentioned, he was a major in a major position, but he had unalived somebody, and at first he thought he did a good job because he didn't figure he was on anyone's radar, but it turns out he was, and he just didn't know it. So at first he was trying to hold on to his story of he wasn't there, he didn't know anything about it, that whole thing. And then he folded like a house of cards when he figured that they had him and he had no way to go. So, yeah. Okay. Another thing. Well, I kind of touched on this before, but if if you're in a relationship and your partner gets really mad about things that he shouldn't get mad at, then that's probably a sign that he's hiding something. Not that he's lying, but that he may be hiding something that may turn into lying, you know? So watch out for that. Just basically, if you have that little voice in your head or in your spirit or whatever, and it's telling you something is going on, and you haven't really seen the proof exactly, listen to that because it's probably telling you the truth. Now, okay, I'm going to say listen to it and also look for the signs that I'm talking about. And like I said, look for a cluster. You're not looking for just one or two. There's probably 10 at least. So, okay, I would say if you see like 6 or 7, you're probably good to go. But if you see 1 or 2, don't say that he's a liar, you know? Yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because I feel it's really important because a lot of people stay in relationships. Well, people stay in relationships for different reasons. I just don't want people to stay in a relationship that they could get out of, but they feel like they have to stay in it. And I'm just saying that you deserve to be happy. Life is too short. And listen to your gut, okay? All right. Bye, everybody.